Johto Cup is going to be a doozy, and there's a couple of reasons why. The first is that it is going to be really restricted. Do you remember Sinnoh Cup? That cup where every Pokemon was either Bastiodon, Drifblim, Empoleon, or Frostlass. Well, it's going to be a little better than that, but still not particularly wide. I've been playing around with where I think the line of meta relevancy is. So like anything above this line, you would consider meta relevant. Anything below this line, you can still make work, but it's a little bit harder. And right now I'm thinking like 81 is a good score. So for this meta, that would be anything from Crobat and above, and 46 Pokemon being above that line is not a particularly high number. Now, that is kind of the minor reason why this meta will be so tough to navigate. The bigger reason is that so many very good Pokemon have really hard walls to deal with. Pokemon that you can be 2 shields to 0 up, or you can have 600 energy rated to fire, and you will still not beat this counter. There's just so little play in that regard. So for example, Skarmory, number 1 in the meta. Very, very good pick. It beats a lot of things. But do not get it locked in against a Lantern at number 2, because it just has no play against a Lantern. Same with Lantern. Very, very good pick. Beats a lot. But if you get it locked in against a grass type like a Meganium or a Blossom, you're gonna lose. Period. I don't care how good you are. You're gonna that's obviously like a over exaggerating how difficult it is, but it gets the picture across. Like there's a lot of hard counters around. So Quagsire, grasses, same thing. The grasses are all really, really good. Your Meganium, your Blossom, your Jumpluff as well. They're all gonna be fantastic. Don't let it get hit by a Skarmory or a Crobat. Same with Ariados here. Really good. We saw what it could do in Love Cup. Don't let it get locked in against Skarmory and Crobat. And Umbreon as well is another one I want to point out, which is really good until it meets an Azumarill, and then it is all over. So how do you navigate a cup like that, where it's just hard wall city? I've been looking for Pokemon that do have play against its counters. Things like Piloswine actually has a lot of play there. It is pretty glassy, but that Avalanche Bulldoze combination it comes in a lot of handy. Hitmontop can beat Skarmory in the 1 shields, which is a really cool thing to be able to exploit, and that Stone Edge will do wonders against a Crobat. Shadow Gramble, I don't mind that, even though there's like no darks around except for the Umbreon, and there's a lot of poisons and a couple of steals. Like it doesn't seem like a good environment for Gramble, but I actually don't mind the cut of Gramble's jib. And some of these electrics like Raikou and Ampharos is also there. They do have some play as well. The biggest safe swaps, or the biggest safe picks for my money, if you go to the safe switch section on PvPoke, Quillfish is the big one. You can see it is rated 100 out of 100, and it is miles of daylight between that and the next best, which is the Shadow Gramble. And of course, Azumarill. Check this out. In the 1-0 shields, you've got 1 shield, your opponents have 0 shields, you're running Play Rough and Ice Beam, you win 20 out of the 22 matchups that PvPoke considers to be the meta in this cup. The only losses are very narrow in Lantern and Shadow Raikou. You're even beating Meganium if you've got good enough IVs. That's one where having a high stat product, Azumarill, does come in handy. Now, cores, we'll take a quick look at a couple of cores that work out. Skarmory and Quagsire is going to be a fantastic core. They only lose together. They only lose to Hitmontop, Feraligatr, Shadow, and Feraligatr regular. I don't know how many Feraligatrs you're going to see in this meta. Jumpluff and Lantern work really well together. They're only losing to Piloswine, Forretress, and Kingdra. And here's one I really like. I'm probably going to try and run this one myself. Umbreon and Quillfish. Check that out. A and B. And it's got a little bit longer list of losses, but has play against all of those. Now, the trouble with these cores is that, particularly for the Skarmory Quagsire one, they rely on you matching up your Pokemon the right way. Like if your Quagsire gets stuck in against the grass Pokemon on the other side, that's going to make it a bit tough to make that call work, but it is still something to consider. I hope this helps. I hope this gets the ball rolling and helping to work out your Johto Cup teams, and good luck with your battles.